can small businesses absorb this right now? Because we did hear the Fair Work Commissioner talk about the pressures, and particularly when it comes to productivity.
This has to be the toughest operating environment for small businesses in living memory. They're just being smashed by higher costs across the board. It's going to be very difficult for them to absorb these costs. So they will need to try to pass those on. But small businesses are often between a rock and hard place. There's only so much people are willing to pay for a cup of coffee. So that means small businesses actually being in the invidious situation where they're reassessing their staffing levels, potentially looking at scaling back some of those growth plans they might have had. 43% of small businesses in Australia are not currently breaking even, and small business owners are paying themselves less than the average salary. So they're under huge pressure at the moment.
Is it the minimum wage rate that is putting the most pressure on small business, or is it, coupled with a lot of things? I mean, for example, you're more worried about the IR restrictions on small business rather than this decision today?
Look, we're worried about the perfect storm of costs, and we're worried that there's not enough attention on what we call the cost of doing business crisis. So a lot of talk about the cost of living, but if you're a small business owner, you're feeling that in your home life, but you're also feeling that at the shop front as well. But certainly the cost and the process, you're right, of employing people. Yeah. So not just the actual wage rates, but the superannuation, the workers' comp, the payroll tax. These increases have flow-on costs for employers. The red tape we've seen introduced into IR is certainly not small business friendly either.
We will see the argument today, because we see it every year. There will be MPs that come out and say, well, this is more money in the pockets of minimum wage earners, so therefore they have more money to spend in small businesses like you're talking about. Do you buy that argument?
Look, it's easy for MPs to celebrate increased wages when someone else pays for it. They're not paying for this. Small businesses are the ones paying for this. So I think the productivity conversation is the one that we really need to be having to make sure that these wage growth can be sustainable in the long run, and we can actually start getting some downward pressure on inflation, which is really what's eating away people's purchasing power at the moment.
Well, we'll get an election pretty soon, so I reckon you will get your wish of having those conversations. I'll be right in the spotlight, Luke. Thanks so much for your time today.
Thank you.